Let's talk about dynamically filling in values in the form. And by this we mean at the end of this video, we're going to share this form with 4 different students with 4 different names, 4 different email addresses, 4 different level of studies and programs of interest. And for each student that we send it to, Gecko is going to dynamically pull in the information for that student when the student clicks to view the form. So as opposed to our method above where we did a static pre-fill for every single student who fills in the form, this is going to be unique to the student we're sending this form to. Now, in order to get up to speed with pre-filling, we need 3 things. We need the link to the form, we need the name of the form field that we want to fill, and we also need the information about which Gecko contact field should be filling that particular form field. And we'll start simple, we'll then build this up, and we'll have a look at an example as we go through. Now, the first thing is really easy. We need the link to our form that we want to pre-fill, and that can be found by going into Gecko, going to the Share tab, and just simply clicking the web form link and copying this. So this is the base link to the form. There's no pre-filling whatsoever going on here. This is just the basic blank form. The next thing that we need to identify is which field we want to pre-fill. And let's start really simple with this. Let's go for the program of interest. Now I can actually click the program of interest field, and I want to make note of the template tag. This is the ID of this field, and this is basically what we're going to be constructing our string with and saying this is the field that we need to fill. So we're going to update our link. We're going to kind of end the link of the form by using a question mark, and we're then going to just paste program of interest on the end. So we're basically saying here's the link to the form, but also once you've loaded that form, the program of interest needs to equal this. Now this next bit gets a little bit more complex. We want to tell Gecko that we want to reference information on the contact record, and whatever the student has in their program of interest contact field, put it in this field called program of interest. Now finding the contact information is pretty easy to do, the exact template tag. Just go to settings, go to contact fields, find the field that you would like to update this with, and we can see the template tag here is program of interest. Now to tell Gecko to dynamically pull this information from the system and update this link with this information, we need to construct a template tag, and we do this by using 2 sets of curly braces opening and telling Gecko go to the contact module and then pull in the program of interest field. So contact.program of interest. So simply put, if we were to share this link with students now, and we were to send this as an email or a text with students through Gecko, if I sent this to a student whose program of interest was English, this value would dynamically be updated with English. If I sent it to somebody for whom it was business, it would update with business. So it's a really easy way of constructing these different items that we want to send to students. Now let's level this up a bit and make it a little bit more complex with examples that you're likely going to use. Let's also pre-fill the full name, the email address, and the level of study, and we'll start doing this a little bit quicker, and as you get more comfortable and confident with this, you too will be able to do this very quick. So remember, the 3 things that we need the link, which we already have, we need the form field name that we want to update. So for the first name field, I can find that by clicking it and finding it right here. So it's the full name. So we'll come to our ever-increasing link. We put a question mark at the end of our form URL to say here's the field we want to update, and here's the dynamically generated value we want to update it with. Let's put an ampersand to say, and wait, there's another field we want to update to, and paste the name of our full name field. We'll put an equal sign again, and we know it's going to be a contact field. And this one, I actually know off the top of my head, it's contact.fullname. We're telling Gecko specifically it's the first name. We're then going to add a pipe to say, after the first name, we also want you to go to the contact module, go to the full name field, and pull in the last name of the student. Let's do the same for email. So let's go to our form, let's go to the email address field, and this is the template tag, the ID, the name of this particular field. Let's say, and the email field, because we're adding another one on, so we had full name and another email, and this time we want contact dot, that's not how you spell email, perfect. And let's do the last field. which is, I think, level of study. I don't think we've done level of study. So we'll take that ID, we'll use another ampersand to separate it from email, and we'll say, and the level of study is equal to, and this one I don't know off the top of my head, so we'll go back to settings and contact fields, level of study, and we can see it's just level underscore of study. So we'll come back to Gecko and we'll do curly braces, go to the contact module and find the value in this particular field. Super, super easy to do. Now, I could share this with students immediately. It's a big, long, ugly looking link, so I'd probably want to anchor it in a button, but it would effectively work quite well. One thing to note is if you are using values where there are spaces, like if the level of study was undergraduate or space graduate, or probably more likely program of interest, ancient space history, those spaces can break URLs. So if there are values or fields where you know that there are definitely spaces, it's wise to add pipe and then url.encode to make sure that Gecko is going to accommodate and encode those spaces as something that won't break the URL string. Okay, all told, that's a long link and we're getting super complex with this now, but let's sign this off with an example. Let's go into an email template. And we will then share this with students and we'll hopefully see different results coming through. So you can see we've got, just to kind of recap here, we've got the link to our form, the basic link to our form. We then finished our link off with a question mark, and we've told Gecko in the field that happens to be called program of interest, it's the field template tag, put equals this value. So go to the contact record, find the contact field called program of interest and put it here. Also, if there are any spaces, encode them so that it's not going to break the URL. Once you've done that, then in the field called full name, take and put the student's first name, pipe separated. We also want the student's last name, and in the field called email we want this information, and so on. So let's go ahead and get that sorted. Let's go ahead and hit save, and now we have our form ready. Let's go ahead and let's just mass email all of these students who happily all have exactly the same email address as me. So Academy sharing link, let's do this. And let's hit send. Okay, so those emails look to have come through. If we click to view the form that's been sent to this particular student, we can see their name inputted here. We can see the level of study and program of interest populated. Interestingly, if you look at the URL string as well, you can see those template tags that we crafted and created have been replaced with the actual values in the students from the students' contact records. If we click on a different student, let's say the student who happens to be called third, I'm not sure which parents cruelly named their parents third student, but we can see it's a completely different set of options from the other student. So there we have it. Pre-filling forms is the type of thing that, in all honesty, is a little bit more advanced, but the dividends and the benefits of doing this and learning how to do this are immense. It allows you to customize the forms, do a ton of really clever things, and crucially use information you already have on the student to inform the communications that you're going to send them.